Hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I make content videos to improve your English skill through different methods. And that's exactly what we are going to learn. We're gonna be listening and reading a story at the same time. It never gets you anywhere. By Alan Townend. Andrew Smedley is a natural worrier. It is something he has inherited from his father, the king of all worriers. But then there are those who are never happy unless they have a problem to solve. Andrew worried about the weather, the state of the pound, his health, the cost of living, and once he even worried because he thought he wasn't worrying enough. But that was in the past. Things have changed because something happened to him exactly 2 years ago. It was in the spring when leaves appear on trees and nature prepares herself for renewal. Other things happen too. People often fall in love. Now Andrew doesn't have a romantic disposition. He never looks up at the leaves starting to grow, sighs and says, "Ah, here comes the spring." He simply thinks to himself, live in a small village by a little stream, and around this time of year lots of creatures start to wake up and make a lot of noise. In London, which stands on the River Thames, people make a lot of noise all the time. I apologize for the simplicity of these statements, but I want to illustrate the unimaginative nature which Andrew possesses. Towards the end of this story I give examples to show the extent of the change that he underwent. The other character in this anecdote is a young woman called Sally Fairweather. She too lives in this tiny and remote village where Andrew has his cottage. Now Sally is an entirely different kettle of fish. Her philosophy runs as follows: worrying never gets you anywhere and life is too short to waste time imagining the worst. In a word, she is the complete opposite in temperament of Andrew. Here comes another cliché: opposites attract. But you must remember that 2 years ago the two main characters hadn't met. Which was surprising when you consider the proximity of Andrew's cottage and Sally's flat. If you take the first left after the post office, you come to Sally's place, and if you take the second turning to the right after that, you come to the cottage where Andrew lives. The next participant in this village drama is the weather, which plays a very significant part in English life. It was late April and the sun had disappeared behind dark heavy rain clouds, but Andrew had already set off for the local pub. Naturally, he had his umbrella with him and a heavy coat, following that aphorism his mother always used: never cast a clout, remove an article of clothing before May is out. Asterisk. Fortunately, he made it to the pub before the storm broke. The moment he crossed the doorstep, an old school friend comes up to Andrew, offers to buy him a drink, and tells him not to look so worried. Andrew showed him the newspaper headlines: "Petrol prices rise again, but you haven't got a car," said his friend. "I knows," retorted Andrew. "Still, it means everything else will go up in price, too." Everyone in the pub looks suitably depressed at this remark and begins to think of all the price increases that will follow. The gloom is palpable. Then suddenly the door bursts open and in walks our heroine, Sally, looking like a drowned rat. Most people in the pub think to themselves, "What a pretty girl." Andrew sees her as someone who is drenched and needs help. He walks over to her and asks if she is all right. For probably the first time in his life, Andrew actually transferred his worry from himself to someone else, and he mixes her a special drink to protect her from a possible cold. The conversation went as follows: "L, hear you live in this village." 2. "How do you know?" asked Andrew. But Sally changed the subject. "This drink tastes delicious. How did you make it?" "L, put a drop of ginger ale and a piece of lemon in the alcohol and then stir thoroughly. I always keep those 2 ingredients with me when I go out at night." Suddenly Sally looked at her watch. "I must fly. My train leaves in 10 minutes. Don't forget to take those tablets I suggested and let me know how you are. I'll let you know as soon as I come back from London." And then she went. Immediately Andrew started to worry. He didn't know her name. He didn't know her address, and he felt strange. He checks his pulse. He tests his mental faculties. 2 and 2 make 4. It was a different sort of worry that was almost a concern. He wants to see her again. Within seconds he rushed out of the pub, leaving his coat behind. Ran into the pouring rain with no umbrella. What was happening to him? He saw Sally standing on the platform getting into the train, and the train leaving the station. He jumps down from the platform onto the track and waves at the train driver to stop. The train stops and Andrew gets onto it. 6 weeks after this extraordinary episode, Sally got married. Andrew doesn't worry anymore now. He stays calm. The obvious time when people expected him to start worrying was during the wedding ceremony in the village church just over 2 years ago. As he says, "I know what everyone was thinking. They thought I would go to pieces. But I was perfectly relaxed and I owe it all to Sally. She is certainly a wonderful wife. She smiled at me when we were standing at the altar and I stopped worrying from that moment on. You can see me looking relaxed in the newspaper pictures, especially that one with the caption. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you learned something today. Please consider like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.